Hi friends, it's Tuesday, September 9th, 2014. 9-9, happy 9-9. Lynn and Jamie here, continuing our assignment in the D.C. area. We have been here for approximately 3 months. We are at the midterm point of our assignment, give or take. It's midterm exam time, and the guides are asking us what we have learned. Exactly as when a student is working towards certification in the Lightworkers Healing Method, as part of the case study submission process, for every case study they have to state what they learned during the session. And in the teaching team, every teaching assistant has to state what he or she learned during the class. Me too. We all have to state what we learned. Here at the midterm point, give or take, of our DC assignment, we are being asked what we have learned through every stage of the process. So our assignment for this session today is to state what we have learned and act upon it in such a way as to trigger the awakening whose time has come at the level of the biosphere, at the level of the galaxy, and at the level of the universe. Now we begin. I see the teacher at the front of the room. Tap, 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 tapping on the blackboard. Who would like to come give your report? I'll do it. Oh. Well, the first part of our assignment, she says, where was the first part of your assignment? The first part of our assignment was at the White House and at the Capitol grounds and at the staffing buildings for the House of Representatives and for the Senate, and at the Judicial Center for the Supreme Court, and at the Pentagon. She says, that's right. She says, what did you learn? Wow. We learned lots of things. We learned how there are good people trying to do good things, but that those good people don't want to live their soul plans. We learned they don't even want to listen to any kind of crazy talk about a soul plan, and they don't want their soul anywhere near their bodies because they want to do what they want to do, and they don't want any stinky soul giving them any other ideas or any other feedback that they don't want to hear. That's true. Yeah. And we learned that as a result, they're digging a deeper and deeper hole for themselves. It's like a horse walking in a circle, just digging a deeper path. We learned rather, that there doesn't seem to be any kind of vortex in any of these spaces. Nothing that would draw angels in. Nothing that would draw in living waters. Nothing that would draw in sacred essence. Nothing that would draw in a soul. Right? That's true. We learned there's a difference between the people who are already being called into their destiny, who are already at the time to step it up and do it, and the people who haven't yet been called. Right? That's true. Like we work with Senate staffers whose souls are saying, do it now, and whose bodies don't want to hear anything about it. Right? That's true. And House of Representatives staffers the same, and people in the White House the same, and boy, oh boy, people in the Pentagon the same, right? Oh man, the Pentagon. Those people don't want to have anything to do with what their soul plan is. Not at all. On the other hand, the police on the Capitol grounds, they haven't yet received the jump call for their service to spirit, right? Right. And their energy was great. Right? Right. They were open to serve because they hadn't yet come to the point that their soul said, do it! And they had to decide whether or not they were going to. Right? That's true. So we can't help but notice the central area of Washington D.C. seems to be a big black hole in the ground. That's true. Which seems to imply some kind of explosions occur. Right? Right. It looks like explosions. It's more than just fire. It's a big black hole in the ground. Big black hole in the ground. Seems to imply explosions, right?
That's true.
Right.
Big explosions.
And we noticed in that first phase how the plans seemed to be really imminent. The plan for these explosions seemed imminent. Right?
It's true.
And the next set rolls into view, and it's the Bobbled Ball. The week of the Bobbled Ball.
That's true.
So we missed that. We totally goofed. We didn't understand that when the assignment shifted to be from working in the central D.C. area to working in the suburban D.C. area, that it meant we were supposed to go into a lockdown mode. We didn't understand that right away.
That's true. We just knew we weren't supposed to go into D.C. anymore.
Yes, it was clear we weren't supposed to go there, but it wasn't clear to us for several days what it was we were supposed to be doing.
Right.
But then it did click into place. Wait a minute, we need to be staying inside. We're in lockdown. We had to literally lock the door to remind ourselves so we wouldn't accidentally step outside for something.
Right.
Lockdown.
7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yes. Stay inside. Be ready every day for 30 days. Today could be the day. And to get ready to feed a population of 1,500 people if necessary, but all the readiness efforts had to occur before 7 a.m. or after 7 p.m. Right?
It's true.
So we learned to live with a lot more discipline.
And to prepare not only to survive, but thrive.
And serve.
And serve.
To serve the greater good in a time of crisis. We learned how we could set up a healing center and where. We learned how we could feed 1,500 people on the supplies that we were able to store.
We learned how, when the call came to pack everything that was necessary into the little Prius and drive
2,200 miles
to Colorado
and be prepared to do it straight through if necessary on roads that would not be safe and would have no more gasoline for sale. We learned in that roughly 30-day period a tiny bit of how toxic our society was, because by staying indoors 12 hours a day, really isolated from society, when we would step outside, it would become very apparent.
Yeah.
Wow. Like stepping into a place that smells really bad.
Yeah.
Wow, it stinks out here.
And then seeing how towards the end of that, the plan shifted or began to shift. The table of the plan was swept off, swept clear.
Watching the guides really go through a contemplative process, a process of analysis, a precise process to say, let's be sure this extreme action is necessary, right? Saying, wow, this seems pretty extreme. Nuclear war, fundamentally, right?
Right.
Creating the Appalachian Desert, right?
Right.
All the major population centers of North America, and it looked like the world destroyed. That seems pretty extreme. Let's be sure before we take such an extreme action, right?
Right.
And watching them put that old plan in the trash. We're going to build again from scratch. Put the old plan in the trash. Full assembly of guides called to turn in their paperwork on their people. What will your person do? Will your person live his or her soul plan at all or not at all? And if they'll do a little bit of it, what? What will they do? Have the guides commit. Boom. My person will do this, and they won't do all the rest. And in many cases, my person isn't going to do anything, right?
That's true.
And watching those guides cry and agonize, but turn in the paperwork honestly, right?
Right.
And then watching the new plans being built again from the individual splinters of the individual plans that look like teeny toothpicks, right?
Tiny little structures.
Yeah, seeing tiny little structures build into larger structures, into crazy structures, and eventually into something that looks more and more like a sleek machine, more and more, more and more, more and more, more and more like a sleek, efficient machine.
That's true.
And then seeing how once again the same patterns are appearing. Big black hole in the ground in Washington D.C., yes?
Yeah.
Big black hole in the ground in Manhattan, deep. Big black hole in the ground in Manhattan, yes?
Yes, and then widespread destruction.
Widespread destruction, but not that same chemical sense. Something different, but still a poisoning of the environment. Seeing the same thing in Orlando, big black hole in the ground, mayhem, craziness, destruction, and the water contamination that spreads throughout Southwest Florida, making people really sick.
That's true.
A plan rebuilt and coming to fundamentally the same point.
That's true.
And then also learning things about ourselves during that time. Learning our own assignments. For example, this really key assignment to learn to live on light that we have made virtually no progress toward. Just honestly.
That's true.
Virtually no progress toward that. Because we wasted the time. When the old plan went into the trash, we basically said, phew, thank God I don't have to learn to live on light, because that would be difficult, right? Fundamentally. Wasted a full month before getting back on it, right?
It's true.
Sorry about that. I'm an idiot.
About that.
I'm an idiot. I can do better.
I can do better.
I can do better. I can and will do better. I can and will do better. So being given the assignment to move cross country in a Prius, taking everything that we needed with us and absolutely nothing that we didn't need, because we have one small Prius, right?
It's true.
Forced us to examine what matters and what doesn't, and to realize we either have to learn to live on light or learn to live without either summer clothing or winter clothing, or learn to live without cleanliness, learn to live without a lot of things, right?
It's true.
Learn to live without a lot of things. And we had to learn to get over our squeamishness, right?
It's true. Learned how to be heat adapted.
Heat adapted, and be prepared emotionally to become cold adapted when the seasons changed. To be willing to pick up dead, rotting bodies if needed. Roll up a stinky carpet if needed, right?
Right.
So that we could live in a house that was no longer being occupied because the owners had died and civilization had collapsed, right?
That's true.
To get over our squeamishness. To be willing to do what needed to be done. To go there in answer to the call of find that student and help him wake up, right?
It's true.
Going to a place that we've never been to before, where we know no one.
And it's not like anywhere we've lived.
It's not like anywhere we've lived, but we can see the instructions, and we can trust, and we can do it.
It's true.
Within the next stage of the assignment, was to work in the nature realms fundamentally, right?
Right.
Work with other levels of the biosphere, right?
It's true.
And what did we learn?
We learned that it's not just humans who are resistant. It was on all levels.
Right.
In the plants, in the cells, in the molecules, the atoms.
All the other animals.
All the other animals.
They're so angry at humans. They just want revenge. They don't care anymore what their guides are saying to them. They don't want to hear any more from their guides. They just want revenge.
It's true.
Which I can understand.
It's true.
But it isn't helping.
No.
And that's what their guides were saying.
Their guides were saying,
it's not helping.
Come on. We get it. We understand. But
put it aside.
Put it aside. Let's move forward. And they were saying, but we want revenge.
Saying, I am going to get my revenge, and I don't care what you say. So now, the entire biosphere has oppositional defiant disorder. I'm not going to do it. I want to do what I want to do. I don't want to listen to you anymore.
All the way down to the atoms.
Right on down to the atoms. That was an eye-opener.
Yeah, it was. And we learned that in the nature realms, there wasn't a vortex.
Not there
running.
No vortex, but that we could do it.
That we could do it.
We could do it. It was something that we could do.